Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro with you. Extremely disappointing opening game for the Eagles, who let a 17-point late first half lead slip away at FedEx Field and gave up 27 unanswered points to the Washington football team. Final score, Washington 27, the Eagles 17. The first loss in the Doug Pederson era for opening games. After 4 straight wins, it looked good early for the Eagles. The Eagles went down the field on their first possession, and they scored a touchdown. Here's the call from Merrill Reese and Mike Quick.
Wentz again in the gun. Scott to his left. Slots to either sides. Motion. Goddard. This time it's a handoff. No, it's a fake. Wentz into the end zone. Touchdown, Zach Ertz!
After taking a 10-0 lead, the Eagles came right back. This time it was Carson Wentz to tight end Dallas Goedert. A picture-perfect play as we listen to Merrill and Mike once again.
1st and 10 at the 34. Back goes Wentz. He's looking. He is looping it. It is caught. It is a touchdown to Goddard.
But after that, everything changed. Wentz throwing a late first half interception that Washington turned into 7 points. And from that point on, it was all Washington. Wentz was sacked 8 times. He threw 2 interceptions. He lost 2 fumbles and had 1 other fumble recovered by center Jason Kelce. An ugly performance by the Eagles offense, which was expected to have some struggles with a made-for-this-game-only offensive line that featured rookie Jack Driscoll as a starting right tackle and second-year man Nate Herbig as the right guard. Driscoll went out injured in the second half and was replaced by Jordan Mailata. The struggles continued. So before we go into the postgame at FedEx Field, let's hear from the voices of the Eagles, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. All right, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick from the broadcast booth at Lincoln Financial Field. What a disappointing game, guys. Let's begin with the overarching thoughts here. Mike Quick, how did this lead, a 17-point lead, slip away from the Philadelphia Eagles?
Dave, I think it just started with the fact that the Washington football team, right before halftime, just got a little bit of momentum and got points before they went away at the half. And they came back out in the second half and made some adjustments, and they never looked back. They continued to push the action, push the pedal, and the Eagles started to go the other way.
Momentum is a fragile thing. Merrill, we knew the offensive line was going to be challenged. I could not remember a season that started with an offensive line in such disarray since long before the Andy Reid era. 8 sacks, Carson picked off twice, another fumble back there that was recovered, a fumble that he lost. Merrill, your thoughts about the offense and the offensive line specifically?
Well, the offense started out like a house on fire, and then after that first interception, they just went into a shell. There was nothing you could do right, and I felt the Carson Wentz looked, and you can't get into somebody's head, but he was throwing whisk passes. Instead of being authoritative and doing what he does naturally, he was just missing receivers left and right. And when you do that, you're just asking for problems. He had a lot of open receivers. Of course, some of that is forced by 8 sacks. And I think the last time I remember a game like that, Winston Justice was filling in a tackle. But it was bad. It was really a bad way to open the season.
Mike, how much of those 8 sacks are on Carson?
Well, a few of them, you certainly would say Carson held on to the ball too long. There was pressure many times when the protection went the wrong way and they got through with pressure. The one time, the middle linebacker came through untouched and hit him. He never got a chance to even get rid of the football. So you can spread it around in many areas. But, Dave, I think sometimes you have to give credit where credit's due. I think Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio in the second half did a really good job of game planning, getting their defense to attack the offense. They kind of start to understand better where the Eagles' weaknesses were, and especially in their pass protection, and they started to attack those weaknesses and put a lot of pressure on Carson Wentz.
You mentioned, Mike, a play, 45-yard line, Eagles in the second half, and Doug Pederson decided to go for it rather than punting and putting Washington in a long field situation. Guys, I'd like to get both of your opinions on that. Mike, you first, and then Merrill.
So I thought that at the time, many times you see teams punt, but when you're involved in analytics, you understand that there's a good chance you can go for it there and get a first down, and it could make the difference in the game. I liked the decision, but I didn't necessarily like the play call in that situation. But I was fine with that decision.
Merrill, your thoughts?
Well, I don't like to second-guess Doug Pederson because I think Doug is an outstanding coach. And once upon a time, I had second-guessed him when he went for something called the Philly Special, and we know how that turned out. But I personally felt that was far too early in the game to gamble like that. I didn't think you had to do it at that point. I would have been a lot more in favor of it if it was late in the fourth quarter and they were into a desperation type of situation. But I thought at that point, that where they were on the field, they would have been better off punting and trying to get the defense to wake up and stop Washington. I was not in favor of that call at that time.
And then, guys, I wanted to circle back to Carson. He took a big sack and pushed Jake Elliott just far enough away that a 53-yard field goal attempt was a yard short. And I don't know, it's just, when you hear Carson makes great plays, and he talked about it after the game, his mentality is to always hang in there and make plays. But we got to get better than that, don't we? Like, at times in that situation, the one thing you don't do is take a sack. How does this get better?
Well, I think at this point in his career, he should understand that that's where you are. You have to know to throw the football away in that situation so that you're not backing up your kicker. And I don't understand when you get to this point in his career why you still make that type of mistake, Dave, quite honestly.
Agreed. Merrill, your thoughts on Carson in that instance?
Well, I think Carson has to be more accurate. He went from throwing strikes early in the game to missing guys long, high, wide. He just wasn't on. Even that last fourth down gamble to Zach Ertz, it kind of slid off of Zach's fingertips, and I'm sure Zach would say that he should have made it. But Carson, had he been accurate, could have made that almost an automatic catch for Zach Ertz. He had a bigger window than that.
Guys, how disappointing is this? This is the first loss in Doug's era in the opening game. It's a weird feeling to have, along with everything else. It's weird to be 0-1 after losing to a team that I don't think is very good, the Washington football team.
Well, I think the Washington football team is a much better team than many expect. I think they have a lot of players, and I think they now have the coach there that can get more out of them than the previous regime that was there.
Merrill?
Well, I think what Mike said is true, and I think the world of Ron Rivera. And I think that Wayne Haskins, the last two times the Eagles have played him, has proven to be a very competent quarterback. And I think that, of course, I think Chase Young is the odds-on favorite to be the defensive rookie of the year. However, I think the Eagles have got to play much better football than what they play today. They are capable of playing much better football, and they just let this one slip away.
Yeah, agreed. Hey, finally, what was the broadcast like? Merrill, what was it like for you being at Lincoln Financial Field?
I always prefer to be where the game is, but the Washington press box location is so bad that it was actually easier than being there trying to see things from a million miles away. However, it was the Eagles made the broadcast for us as doable as possible. It was every resource we needed. So I thank the Eagles for that.
No, I echo that. Everything was set up to help us as best as possible. And Dave, I'm just so happy that Merrill and I got to sit in the booth and call a football game today, because a few months ago, I was unsure if this would happen. So I'm happy, thankful for that.
Amen to that. Guys, thank you so much. And try to shrug this one off as well. We're all in a bit of pain right now.
All right, Dave.
Well, we will. And hopefully the team will be able to wake up and play the kind of football they're capable of against the Rams. But I think it's very important to shore up that offensive line, get Lane Johnson back, and as quickly as humanly possible, get Miles Sanders back in the lineup because he is one of their biggest weapons.
No doubt. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. All right, then let's get to Carson Wentz. Not pleased at all with his performance. Held on to the football too long. Missed some open receivers down the field. Turned the football over. Ball security, again an issue with number 11. Here are some of the things that Wentz had to say in the post-game interview session.
Yeah, kind of a tale of two halves, really. I got to be better. I know that came out, offensively, feeling good. We moved the ball right down the field, put up points, got ahead in the game, and I got to clean up the interceptions. I put our defense in a bad spot on a couple occasions, and it was just we've definitely lost some momentum, and we didn't make the plays we needed to make, and I got to be better. It starts with me. I got to protect the ball, lead these guys better, and I'll own that. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating walking off that field knowing the momentum and how we felt early in that game. Got up early off to a great start, and like I said, it would just kind of spiraled out of control. And the next thing you know, we were in a 2nd and 15 multiple drives in a row and just, couldn't be ahead of the chains and make plays and turn the ball over. Got to protect the ball. So it was definitely frustrating walking off that field. But there's a lot of good we can learn from and shake off some of these things and get back to it next week. Yeah, I mean, the sacks and those things, culmination, different things. I mean, every play was its own play. Definitely times I could get rid of the ball quicker. Definitely some miscommunication that I got to help clean up for everybody. And so, I mean, I'll have to watch the tape to really see what happened. But anytime you have sacks like that, it's a culmination of things, and I got to do a better job all the way around. I think that's just the mentality I have. I'm always trying to make a play and extend the play, and when it's there to be made, sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes bad things happen. You take a sack. I got to do better. Get rid of the ball when I can, but my mentality on that front doesn't change within a game or within a week. But I just got to know better and know when to just get rid of the ball. Yeah, I mean, we always say next man up mentality around here. Obviously, we miss those guys being out there with us and what they bring to the table. I mean, those all three of those guys are some of the best at what they do. But we feel confident in the guys that stepped on that field. I thought the guys that filled in did a great job. Got to watch the tape, obviously, but it's always tough to see, some of the best guys at their position go down and not be on the field. But I think we have the depth for guys to step up, and I think guys did a pretty good job.
Those troubles up front, well, very difficult to overcome. So many injuries the Eagles have had along the offensive line. Center Jason Kelce talking about that in his post-game press conference.
Obviously, a very up and down performance for the line today. Very poor in the run game. I felt like we were never really able to establish the run game very well. That's a combination of guys not executing and, credit to Washington of throwing some well-timed blitzes. But, we got to be better. We got to be better up front. No excuses. I think I've had plenty of work with the guys that were out there today, and I don't think anybody in particular played an individually terrible game. Is probably not what you guys want to hear, but I think everybody kind of had their chances to screw this one up. I think myself included, I could have played better, and I think everybody across the board had their moments where they could have got the job done better. I don't know. I've never, fortunately for me, I've never had to deal with that. But I think at the end of the day, even though obviously Zach's frustrated about that, he's being a great teammate, and he's not making it affecting his his ability to play, his ability to be a leader. Zach's a tremendous teammate who shows up to work every day ready to work. And at the end of the day, it's in his best interest to go out there and play as well as he can. I think he knows that, and regardless of what happens with the team and his agent and everything like that, I mean, obviously I hope that they can work something out because I think he deserves it. But anyway, he's been outstanding in the building, outstanding today. I don't think he's let it affect him too much. I think we have better depth on this line, and I think that obviously losing Brandon, he's been best guard in the NFL for a few years now, in my opinion, and Lane will be back and Jason's back, but this is the way the season goes, right? I think at some point you're going to lose some guys, and guys are going to have to go in there and get the job done. And Big V, he was very taken for granted in his career in Philadelphia, and when his number was called, he went out there, he got the job done, helped us win a Super Bowl. So all those guys that are out there today are going to be continually asked upon at some point in this season. I think that and obviously they're asked today, and even when Lane comes back, there's going to be other guys that are going to have to step up again, and that's the way this thing goes. And we got to make sure that everybody's ready to go and that everybody's improving, right? Everybody's going to be able to watch this tape and be able to know that you could have done a better job. You could have done a better job in this play, that play, better technique, communicated better, whatever it is. There's a lot of things that everybody's going to be able to take from this tape and get better for next week.
And head coach Doug Pederson understands that it is a long, long NFL season. Still, a disappointing way to start 2020.
Well, I think first of all, it's something can't happen. First and foremost, can't happen. I'd say it's a little of both. It's sacks don't always go on the O-line. Sacks don't always go on the quarterback. Sometimes, protection. The backs are included in that. Tight ends are included in that. But and then the receivers just getting open. So it's there's a lot that goes in. I got to look at the tape obviously to make a real clear determination on that. But ultimately that cannot happen. Yeah, obviously the way we started the game is exactly how we thought we could attack against this team. Just come out and play tempo football, and it's something that our quarterback is good at, our offense is good at, and he did. He came out and played extremely well, and again I got to look at this film to see exactly why there were some breakdowns. We just got to continue to get better. I've got to get better. The players got to get better. Coaching staff. So this is one game of a long season, and that's what we're gonna focus on this week. Well, listen. Anytime you can disrupt your offensive line and lose some continuity there, it's gonna affect you a little bit. But one thing I like about our guys is it's a resilient group. They don't let the changes bother them. We still have to go execute and play. And for us to go against this front today is really a good test for our guys. Valuable experience for guys like Nate Herbig and Jack Driscoll. Jordan Mailata got in there today. So, you don't want to move too many parts obviously up front, but at the same time we take pride in getting our guys prepared and go play. I just told them, listen. I said it's we got a lot of work to do. Today was not our best, and we've got to eliminate. We got to eliminate the mistakes. We can't have the sacks. We can't have the turnovers that we had today and expect to win, especially against a division opponent. So it's just one game. I told them that we're going to go to work tomorrow and get ready for next week.
That will do it for this Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group, our post-game edition. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro. We'll be back with more on Wednesday as the Eagles try to turn things around against the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field. Thanks to Peter Kelly and Ray Doyle for all their great work. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, and make sure you're with us throughout the week. Everyone, thanks for joining. Have yourselves a great Eagles day, and fly, Eagles, fly. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! We want you to know about all the podcasts in the Eagles network of podcasts. So make sure you tune in to not only this Eagles Insider Podcast 3 times a week, but make sure you subscribe and listen to the Eagle Eye in the Sky Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, our Journey to the Draft Podcast Tuesday and Thursday, and our Eagles Update Podcasts, which give you the news in a flash, Monday through Saturday throughout this 2020 season. Sign up, subscribe, and listen to our Eagles network of podcasts.